coming to us and pouring into our lives. I believe the fact that Miss Vicky had over 150 people that at some point has lived in their home is the same testament to that fact. Real discipleship takes place in the trenches of life. And Mary and I are grateful to be in that trench with Pastor and Miss Vicky, and we're grateful that you get to be in the trench of Pastor Lehman and his wife. And can I say this morning, lastly, I learned that joining a church family is a twofold decision. It's a twofold decision. First, you make the decision to come. But then there's a second decision to make, and that is to be there, to really be there. To jump in and give yourself to what God is doing. I believe far too many people come to church and they get their feet wet. They stand in the water for a little bit of time. But can I tell you, the one who experiences God using them in incredible ways are the ones who just come and jump in the water all the way. And I'm grateful here today for the examples that we have had in the Muchlers and the Vestals and the Lehmans and many others who have come and will talk today. But I am thrilled for each one of you that we have these examples that God gave us of people who not just came, but who jumped in and allowed the Lord to use them. And can I encourage each one of you here today to make not just the decision to attend here, but to make that secondary decision to jump in. Don't just get your feet wet. Jump in all the way. Can I tell you, here at Grandview Baptist Church, the water's just fine. 7.5 years ago, the Lord decided to call our family to pastor an inner city church there in Louisville, Kentucky. And we have taken the many things that we have learned here, these and many others, and have tried with the Lord's help to minister to those people. This past summer, one of the men from this church, Andy is his name, he was stationed in Fort Knox for a little bit, and that Fort Knox, it's almost a solid hour drive to get to our church, and on a couple occasions, Andy was able to drive over and be a part of our church there. Brother Hoxie was talking with Andy a while back and asked him, hey, how was your experience there at Shawnee Baptist Church? And Andy commented back, John, it's just like Grandview. To which Brother Hoxie replied, well, they have the same DNA, don't they? And Mary and I have strived to take what we learned here and the ministry DNA that we have been given and live it there. And by the grace of God, one day we'll look forward to celebrating together in heaven with you and your family and rejoicing in what that DNA has done for the cause of Jesus Christ. And so thank you for loving Jesus and others and our family. Congrats, Pastor Justin and Brother Muchler and church on 40 years of faithful ministry. And thank you again for allowing us to be a small part of that here at Grandview Baptist Church.
Thank you, Brother Frost. Could you sense his passion he picked up here? And what a blessing that was. Thank you for that. And, of course, at this time, we have one more speaker this morning. And probably been here, I think you left 4 years ago, Brother Kenny. And now is pastoring in Anchorage, Alaska. I've been to that work and 2 different times. And God is doing work. Most people go to Alaska to go on vacation. But Anchorage is a very needy city. And they're open for the gospel and the testament of this man and his wife. And we got to me and Kenny got to room together before we both got married. To our wives. There we go. And but anyways, I appreciate his friendship. I appreciate his love to the Lord. Sorry, I don't know what you're going to say after that, but come on up here, Brother Kenny. And I'm going to have him share a little bit. He has a great testimony, great story. We don't have the time for it all today. If you were in the men's breakfast yesterday, you heard it. But this is a testament to a man who just gave his life to Christ. God got a hold of him, woke him up, and he's not looked back ever since. And I think every single person here today, that maybe you have a story like that. There's something in your past that you made a 180. Let me encourage you today to not look back, but keep going. Like Pastor Menendez. Come on up here, Pastor Kenny, and share with us just a little bit.
All right. Well, since Pastor Justin started it, the roommate's story I got to share here is, he would not change the toilet paper roll. He would leave it empty. And one time I decided I'm going to teach him a lesson, and I set up outside of his room. He had a step that went down into his room. I set up a table and the empty toilet paper roll there at the entrance, and so he got up in the middle of the night to go use the restroom, and he tripped all over the table and the roll, and I enjoyed listening to that in the middle of the night, just the crashing sound. I was like, man, this is sweet revenge. Change the roll next time, buddy. And so there you go. But we've been in Anchorage, Alaska for the last 4 years, and God has been real good to us, and I'm very, very thankful to Grandview Baptist Church. There's no way we would have been able to be a part of the ministry there or start the church there without the loving support here of the church here, and as well as the Open Door Baptist Church of Kent, Washington. But as far as what I learned here while I was at Grandview Baptist Church, I kind of giggle when I look at they say the past staff and all that. I was just a layman in the church, and I never got to know what it was like to be on the staff, and the stories that they may tell. I didn't get the inside scoop. But one thing I do remember that I learned is the Bible tells us, let all things be done decently and in order. And as a layman in the church, you have that temptation to just, you serve the Lord, and just as long as you're getting it done and doing it well, it's okay. It's going forward. We're helping. But no, I learned here at Grandview that everything that we do for the Lord, it should be done with excellence. And several times I learned that the hard way, just doing dumb things here at the church, and a lot of patience was given to me, extended to me, and anytime I was to use the church name or make a flyer, for example, or something like that, it was always make sure you do it with excellence, and I appreciate that was really instilled in me here at Grandview. Going to Alaska, everything's just so relaxed and so calm, and it drove me crazy when I went up there, because I had to, I guess, get a little bit accustomed to that, the relaxed living, I guess, that was over there, and everything. I wanted order and charge and best, and so I'm thankful that even though we've made it through the uphill battle the first few years there of trying to do everything in order and decent, it's still something that I always remember to give my best for the Lord.